Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm going to do a little series of titles, all done differently, obviously. I don't make the same one, but I want to make them different, and I don't know how many I'm going to make, probably half a dozen maybe. Give you guys a good idea on how to make these with background textures, without, so you can put your own background in it, transparent, uh, different animations, and whatnot. I want to mention I have to use this on-screen keyboard because I'm paralyzed, can't use my hands. That's why it's up there. And I use a sip and puff handicap controller, and you may hear me sip on the controller from time to time. I do edit it out, but I can't always get it all. With that said, we'll go ahead and get started in Fusion. Grab a background node. Select the background node. Turn the alpha all the way down. Go to one viewer. Grab a text plus node from the toolbar. Merge it into the background. Put the text you're liking in there. This is just a default text because we're going to save this all in a macro at the end so you can reuse it. I suggest using Open Sans because if you use a font that you brought into your computer and you switch computers and your new one does not have that font, this preset will not work. If you use Open Sans, it'll work on any computer in any font. And with the text node still selected, go to the toolbar, get a transform. We're going to use that one to size the default text. That way, all the settings of the text node in the inspector will be as it normally is. Nothing's changed. It won't look modified at all. I'm going to go 1.5 on the size. That's personal preference, so you can set yours to your liking. And select the text node again. Get a rectangle off the toolbar. Now you'll see the green box in the viewer. You can move that 2 different ways. You can grab it and move it like that. Or you can use the width and the height in the inspector. We're going to animate this from the top down, coming in, and from the text down, going out. So you can leave it as wide as you want. That way you can put longer text in. Make it a little bit bigger top and bottom for larger text. I'm going to go with something like this. If you go too big, it'll throw your animation way off. Let's go ahead and animate this. I am on a 30 FPS. You may have to adjust accordingly. I'm going to start 15 frames in. Half a second for me. Go to the inspector under center, Y-axis. We'll move the mask up. Something like that. Set a keyframe. I'm going to advance 20 frames. To 35. Go back to the inspector, center Y-axis, and we'll bring the mask back down. I'll give it a play and see how it looks. Now we want it to go out with the same timing. We went 15 frames in, so we're going to go 15 frames out. So it'll be completely out at frame 135. So come back to frame 115. Set a keyframe. Now advance to 135. If you don't already know, you can see it right here in the corner as well. Now let's go back to the Y-axis under center and bring the mask down. Give it a play and see how it looks. We can also put a soft edge on it. In the inspector, which is soft edge, I'm going to go 0.01. This will be in the macro at the end, so you can leave it at 0 if you like for default setting. I'm going to add 0.01 So my default, just have a little bit there. If you look at the text, you can see it. Select the transform one. And select another transform. We're going to call that one group controls, so we'll rename it. Let's add a drop shadow in here. Select just the text node. Shift spacebar. And type in drop shadow. I'm going to set the default at shadow strength at 0, so it does not show in the inspector, but it'll be there if you want to use it. Pretty nice animation. Now I'm going to try to stretch it and show you that it's not going to work. It's still going to animate within that 5 seconds, no matter how long you make it. Right about now, there it goes. I'm going to show you how to correct that. Go back to Fusion, make sure the merge one is selected. Shift spacebar. And type in stretch. You want keyframe stretcher. Now we'll give it a play and you'll see what'll happen. It's animated on, but not off. I want to go to the inspector, under source end, change it from 120 to 150, which we are on a 150 frames, so we want to match that. And you want to take this stretch start to what your time coming in, your frames coming in was at 35 fully, so I want to take it up to 35 or a little bit more than that. I'm at 38, 39, and then we'll take the stretch end to around 100. Now we'll give it a play, make sure it animates okay. That looks good. Now we'll come out here, we'll stretch this back out, and now it'll hold between the in and out. So you can set it to whatever duration you want. Okay, now we'll go make the macro. Okay, click away and follow me with the order I select them, unless you want them different in the inspector. The first one we select will be at the top, the last one at the bottom in the inspector. Hold the control button down. Make sure nothing's selected prior to that though. Text. Group controls. And drop shadow. Then hit A. Make sure the control button's still down. And deselect the media out. We do not want that. Right click on any one of the other nodes. My keyboard does this weird thing. I don't think yours does this. Go to macro. Create macro. give it a name. Okay, follow along. In case you don't already know, if you don't know what to select in a macro, if you select whatever node you're working on in the macro, which is our text, and you look in the inspector to the right, you see you have everything you need. So you can just pick from there and add it to your macro. Go to group controls, select center, delete center, and type in group controls. Select size and type in group in front of size. Same thing with angle. Put group in front of angle. Now go to drop shadow. You can add a color if you like, but I'm not going to. Okay, go up to File. Save as group. If you save it as group, you can open it back in Fusion at any time. If you select Save As, it'll lock it, and you can never get back into it. It'll take your macros, but go to Fusion. Go to Templates. Edit. Titles. Here's where you can make your own folder if you want. I have one here. And hit save. Close out your macro. Click away so none of your nodes are selected, so you don't delete your project accidentally. Now we'll go look for our preset. Here it is. I'll grab a generator. Give it a play, see how it looks. If you click on it, you have everything over the inspector. I'm not going to waste a bunch of time. You guys can all figure that out. If your group controls, everything moves together. I know there's only one line here, but this brings the mask with it. So if you want to make it like a lower third, there's your emphasis. Angle if you want. Shadow strength. When you blur it down, it'll make a sharp edge. Still have those options. Now we'll extend this. Right around 10 seconds right now. Reveal, hold, then animate out. No matter how long you make it. Well, there you go. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.